Danny Segura for MMA Junkie. I'm here with a Bellator legend, one of the greatest featherweights on the planet today, Patricio Pitbull, who has a very important fight coming up on the PFL versus Bellator event on February 24th. He'll be taking on Jesus Pinedo, which was the winner of last year's PFL featherweight tournament. Patricio, very excited to talk to you. How are you, my man? How you doing?
Thank my friend. Everything good. How about you?
I'm good, man, and excited to talk to you because there's so much to talk about, obviously, not only with your career, but everything going on around it, right, with Bellator and PFL. There's a lot of changes. So I wanted to start here before getting into your fight with Jesus Pinedo. I wanted to ask you about your overall feelings about this merger between PFL and Bellator. I'm sure, new opportunities, that must be exciting, but at the same time, I know Bellator, I mean, it was such a big part of your career. You're arguably the greatest fighter to ever compete in Bellator. So I'm just wondering, how do you feel about the sale? How do you feel about, I guess, the end of Bellator as we know it for now, I guess?
Bom, tive com a organização desde 2010, então são 14 anos defendendo essa bandeira. É, o Bellator como era já não existe mais, né? Agora é uma nova organização que toma conta do Bellator. E é um pouco triste, aquelas pessoas que trabalhavam lá no backstage, eu não encontro mais. Até do homenzinho que servia café, do cara que dirigia o caminhão do Bellator, sinto falta de todas as pessoas, do câmera, do cara que puxava o fio para a câmera poder andar. Então, convivi com essas pessoas por muito tempo. Alguns não tive nem chance de dizer tchau, então por esse lado é triste. Mas a grandeza que agora o Bellator se tornou junto com o PFL é espetacular. Fui bastante empolgado para ver o que eles têm reservado para nós nesse momento.
Yeah, it's sad because I've been with the promotion since the beginning. For 14 years, I was representing that flag. So, of course, I'm going to miss the old days of Bellator from everyone, like the person that would come to serve us coffee, the truck driver, the cameramans, their assistants, many people uh, 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 from the background of the promotion that people didn't see, didn't know about. And unfortunately, I didn't have the chance to say goodbye to many of them. Some of them are crossing over to PFL, but many aren't. So we're gonna miss every single one of them. It was like family. We've been there together for a long time, but now I see this as Bellator being brought up to the next level. Like PFL is investing a lot of money and they have great ideas. So I see there's going to be a positive side to it as well. And perhaps we're going to be bigger than we ever was.
Yeah, for sure. The end of an era, mixed feelings, right? I know excitement because a new chapter, but at the same time, I know Bellator was obviously very important to you. And I wanted to ask you before we talk about other topics. Obviously, your career continues, but as far as the Bellator days, how we used to know it, that's come to an end. So I wanted to ask you, what is your favorite memory under the Bellator banner?
Tem alguns memoráveis, né? Eu me tornando campeão mundial pela primeira vez em cima de Pitbull, que foi uma revanche, né? Ver a estreia do meu irmão, a carreira que meu irmão fez lá, ter tido a oportunidade de levar minha família para assistir boa parte das minhas lutas, então minhas crianças, minha esposa, ter visto meu irmão se consagrar campeão mundial. Então a gente tem muita memória ali que vai ficar para sempre no meu coração.
Yeah, I have some great memories there. Like my first world title fight, the first time I won the title against Pat Curran. My brother's Bellator debut and pretty much his whole career in Bellator. When he got the title, being able to bring my family, my kids, and my wife to watch the fights. There were many memorable things during our time in Bellator.
Certainly. And if you don't mind me asking, okay, it's okay if you don't want to shed some light, talk about this, but just curious, did anything in your contract change? Did you resign? Sometimes with these big changes, there's changes in the contract. I'm wondering if it's the same as the Bellator one. Has anything changed on that end?
Nothing changed. PFL just follows the contract that I had already with Bellator.
Okay, nice. And also something else that I wanted to ask you: PFL plans on doing their tournament and also doing these 8 events a year with the Bellator banner. And from what we still don't know a lot, but from what Don Davis, the PFL founder, said a few months ago on the MMA Hour, was that they want to keep both the tournament and some like individual events, I guess. Have they approached you about the plan of your career under the PFL? Will we see you in a tournament or just these one-off fights per se?
Não me agrada a ideia de lutar o torneio do PFL por causa daqueles motivos que eu te falei, Matheus. Aí você passa para ele, que é você poder fazer uma luta dura de 3 rounds contra um cara duríssimo, o ex-campeão, por exemplo, e o cara pegar uma luta fácil na outra rodada e ganhar por nocaute no primeiro round, passar para a próxima rodada do GP e eu não, por exemplo. Então eu perco a chance de ser campeão mundial nessa etapa. Então isso não me agrada, não vejo esse GP do PFL com bons olhos. E como eu falei, eu sou um atleta do Bellator, represento essa bandeira e ah, pretendo defender o título dos pesos penas ainda esse ano.
I don't like the PFL tournament format. This whole thing about the points and like you can fight the former champion and win by decision, have a very tough fight, win by decision, and another guy gets a scrub, knocks him out in the first round, and he goes on the playoffs, and I don't. So there's not much merit this way.
Right. Yeah, certainly.
In your fights and still
Yeah.
not move on. And in my mind, I'm still a Bellator fighter. I'm the champion, so I wanted to defend my belts.
Hein, Matheus? E assim, como eu gosto de lutar por título, como eu estou numa posição que a maioria da minha luta é por título, imagine eu entrando numa rodada do GP do PFL, ganhando minha primeira luta, não passando para a próxima rodada e deixando de ser campeão mundial. Para mim, faz o menor sentido.
I like titles, so I would welcome a tournament. But imagine I go into the tournament, I win my fight, even though I win all my fights, I still don't make the playoffs, and I can't be the champion. This doesn't make any sense for me.
Right. So it's more like the point system that you don't like, because you've been in tournaments in Bellator, right? And it's just win. There's no points, win or lose, right? It's the points that you don't like.
Yeah. I don't understand that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So certainly, some fighters don't. Some fighters do. I guess it all depends. And certainly you've earned your way already to the top. So you've put in the work, right? It almost feels like, and I don't mean no disrespect towards the PFL, but the tournament is more for like the younger, hungrier guys that are trying to make a name for themselves. I don't know if you feel that way as well.
Yeah, I feel the same. For me, it's exactly like this.
Yeah, for sure. And I wanted to ask you also, now moving forward, you'll be fighting Jesus Pinedo, who is from Peru, won the last season pretty much out of nowhere. A lot of people were thinking that Brandon Loughnane was going to win, and there was other names talked about the potential champion, but not Jesus Pinedo. He surprised many in 2023, became champion. So I wanted to ask you, what did you think of his tournament run? Have you seen it? And what do you make of him as a fighter?
Ele é o cara que ninguém aposta e sempre vence. Todo mundo vai lutar com ele. Ele é o azarão e ele tá lá mostrando para que veio. Então é um cara que eu tenho que prestar atenção, um cara muito duro. Respeito ele como um atleta forte, mas dentro do ringue vai sobreviver o melhor lutador. Então eu sei que eu sou mais completo do que ele, sou melhor que ele, tenho mais experiência, mas cada luta é uma luta. Vou fazer o possível, pretendo trazer essa vitória para o Brasil e é isso. Vamos frear essa sequência de vitória que ele está vindo agora.
Yeah, he's a guy that no one bet on him. He was always the underdog on his fights, and he won all of them. So he's someone that I have to keep an eye on. He's a tough fighter. I respect him as an athlete, as a competitor. But it's a fight that the best man is going to win, and I feel that I'm better than him in every aspect of the fight game. I have more experience as well. But every fight is a new story. So I know what I have to go in there to do it, and I'm going to try to do it, and I plan to bring this win to Brazil and expand my story.
Yeah, for sure. And this fight you're taking, this is coming on the heels of an injury and 2023 where things didn't go your way. You went 0-2 that year, and you're obviously one of the greatest to ever do it at featherweight, and you've always been tied to winning championship belts. 2023 a bit of an anomaly in your career. So I wanted to ask you, how difficult was it to deal with 2023? How would you describe it? And how happy are you that here on the 21st and on the 24th, you get to put all that behind you?
Foi um ano difícil, foi um ano que eu me dediquei muito. Pra você ter ideia, para bater o peso de Butterweight, eu comecei a dieta desde o camp para a luta contra Kleber. Então, a luta foi em dezembro. Eu provavelmente comecei a dieta em setembro de um ano anterior. Bati o peso da luta contra Kleber, segui na dieta, bati o peso para Pets, perdi a luta. Logo em seguida, aceitei a luta contra o japonês. Infelizmente, tive uma lesão que facilitou bastante essas derrotas acontecerem, mas já passou, foi um risco que eu assumi. A gente tinha medo de fazer a cirurgia e não poder voltar mais a lutar. E também teve, depois que o médico abriu, a gente viu que a lesão estava mais grave do que parecia e podia até ter ficado tetraplégico durante o combate desse. Então, chega a ser, até ser parecido com a responsabilidade, mas a gente só teve noção da gravidade mesmo quando o médico abriu ali e viu o estrago que estava. Mas acontece na carreira de todo esportista, nem todo ano a gente consegue, né, comparar um time de futebol ou um piloto de Fórmula 1, nem todo ano ele vai conseguir o campeonato. Eu não sou diferente, eu sei que eu fui programado para não perder, faço tudo que é possível para sair com a vitória, mas eu entendo que às vezes merdas acontecem e a gente tem que dar o nosso melhor para voltar mais forte. É isso que eu estou fazendo agora. Pretendo voltar bem e começando esse ano aí, batendo no campeão mundial Jesus Pinedo.
Yeah, it was a tough year for me to make weight for the Paris fight. I started planning for it and died in September of the previous year. So I fought Kleber pretty much as in camp for Paris. I made the weight, featherweight, and kept my weight down so I would be able to make bantamweight on the fight against Paris later. And then I was invited to fight Chihiro, and it was at lightweight with a few days' notice. And I lost again, and I had the injury that was a pretty big factor in both of those losses. Uh, but I was afraid that doing the surgery, I had the risk of never fighting again. So I took the risk. But unfortunately, I didn't know, not even the doctor knew, how serious my injury actually was because the MRIs didn't show everything. He only found out how serious it was when he opened my neck and he started working on it. And he saw how severe that was. So it may seem irresponsible, but with the information that we had, it was like an injury that I would have to live with for the rest of my life. And once we decided to go to surgery, we saw it was something much worse that could have aggravated my life severely. Hopefully, locally, nothing serious happening, and I did the surgery. I'm recovered now, and I get the chance to fight this great champion from PFL, Jesus Pinedo, and I'm working hard to put on a great show and put my name back on the top again.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm glad that the surgery went well and that you're healthy. Just a couple more questions, real quick. That fight against Pettis, you were trying to go for your third title, which is crazy in a different weight class. Are you done with 135, or is this something that you would want to do again in the future?
A
Eu
luta contra
vou. Eu entendi. Eu vou focar agora no meu próximo adversário. Eu tenho que defender o título do peso pena, mas deixe aberto essa possibilidade. Se for possível, eu gostaria de atingir essa marca sim, mas agora não é o momento.
Yeah.
I'm gonna focus on my next opponent, and then after that, I have to defend my featherweight title. After defending the title, we will see. It's something that I leave open. That's a mark that I would like to achieve in my career. But first things first, I have these two things to take care of before that.
Yeah. Of course. First things first. You got Pinedo in front of you. Just another one, real quick on that. How did you feel at 135 with the weight cut and actually competing? Did you feel good?
Eu consegui bater quase 1 quilo abaixo do esperado, um dia antes do dia anterior da pesagem. Me senti bem, me senti forte. Foi uma dieta longa, essa é a parte ruim, mas eu acho que, dependendo do desafio, vale a pena e fazer essa marca me agrada muito.
Yeah, actually, I was able to weigh in almost 3 pounds under the limit the day before the weigh-ins. So it was hard, but not as much as I imagined it would be. I felt good. The dieting part isn't something that I would like to have to deal with all the time, but it was a good experience, and I plan to, if possible, do it again. I
Yeah.
want to have the third belt.
Yeah, for sure. All right, last question, because I know you got to go. I know you've been training with Paulo Costa. Did you try the secret juice? And if so, how was it?
Muito bom, deixa você com muita energia. Eu indico a todos.
Oh, it's very good. It gives you a lot of energy. I recommend it to everyone.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Patricio. Well, pleasure talking to you. Best of luck this February 24th against Jesus Pinedo in this big event between PFL versus Bellator. It's going to be a fantastic night of fights. So thank you so much and boa sorte.
Thank you very much, my friend. Obrigado.
Thank you.